Hey, what's
Hi.
going on, guys? I got Toya on today. How you doing? How's your new year?
First, I want to say good afternoon to everyone and happy New Year. My New Year has been going well. I've been thinking about goals that I want to set and ways and how I can meet those goals. So I'm still in the planning phase of the New Year, but so far it's going well.
Good. Yeah, no, goal setting is definitely very important, and I take it super seriously. I feel like I'm constantly always planning goals. Like even before I finish goals, I'm already like planning ahead to see like, okay, what do I got to start doing next to get going and things like that. But before we kind of dive into too much about goal setting and maybe some other things too, I would love for you to just introduce yourself to the audience and share a little bit about who you are, who you help, and what do you do.
Okay, so my name is Latoya, but I do have a company called Toya Simone. Basically, the vision of the company is to help millennial and Gen X women care for their mental health through creative means, such as fashion and creative writing, while informing them about resources within their community. I work in the mental health field as a case manager for a few years now. And one thing that I noticed is that people who are not in the field, they are unaware of the resources available to them in their own community that can assist them with their needs. So I
Hmm.
just want to share some of those resources. Um,
Yeah, I'm totally interested.
yeah.
So, what kind of what resources are you talking about?
Okay. So for example, say you're having a bad night or a bad day, and you try to call your psychiatrist or your therapist, but they're not answering. You can actually get counseling through government programs, and one of that program is called NYC Wells, where you can call them, you can speak to a professional there, and they can help you go through that mental breakdown that you are experiencing. Um, and also there are other like programs such as suicide hotline. Like if you are suicidal, or if you have a friend that is suicidal, you can refer them to that suicidal hotline, which
Mhm.
is funded by government. So yeah,
Ah,
we have a lot of resources.
so that first one is NYC Wells.
Yeah.
Is that only for people who live in New York City?
Yeah, that's only for people who live in New York City. But
Okay.
there are other nationwide program. And one of the program, the nationwide program, hold on. Let me try to remember.
Sure.
Um, because it's a lot. I'm gonna try to remember, and then I will
We'll
tell
come
you
back to it.
later. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
because I
Well,
want to give people accurate, information. So
yeah, of course. I'll just make a little note about that.
yes.
And we'll come back to it. So, how did you get into the field? Well, first, how did you start your business? And is that tied directly with the mental health stuff? Because it sounds kind of similar, but it also doesn't sound like it's directly related.
Okay. Okay. So I major in psychology in college,
Hmm.
because I find it interested. Um, because like psychology, you're basically getting in people mind. You're getting in their head. You're
Yeah.
trying to figure out what they're thinking. Um, so one of the things I forgot to mention is that at my job, I'm also a recreational vocational specialist. So basically, what I do is I plan activities for the clients, just to elevate their mood and give them something to occupy their time. So I find that with these activities, it always bring them like joy and laughter, because while we're doing these activities, they're always smiling, laughing, and they express their thoughts. For example, I remember one time I gave my client a prompt to do, which was to write about something, that they're going through, but they haven't told anyone. And one of my clients said that she's currently going through depression because she doesn't have any money to pay her bills. And that's something that none of the other workers knew. But because of these creative activities that I plan for them to do, I get in their mind. I get them to say what they're thinking without
Mhm.
actually verbalizing it. And because of that, I actually share it with our social worker who get her the help that she needs. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um
I love that. And so, what other kind of activities do you? What are like the most popular activities that you do? Is it a journaling practice you were just talking about?
so yeah, that's called journaling. Yes, so we do a lot of different activities. Self-care, um
Love
bingo.
that.
Yeah. um Self-care, bingo, creative writing, Zumba, stuff like that to get them occupied, keep them occupied, and elevate their mood.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Zumba. Zumba's got to be fun too because you gets them up and moving and gets them kind of like a little bit of a workout too. Bingo is just totally fun no matter what. So I love bingo. So I
Mm-hmm.
totally love that.
And you are
Um,
into working out, so you would gravitate more towards working out because
yeah.
you're all about building muscles, being physically healthy. So
Now, do you ever mix it together? Do you ever do like a Zumba bingo?
no, no, but maybe I
Yeah.
should incorporate that.
All right. 2024. There we go. Zumba
Yes.
bingo. I love it. So what are some things that you're working towards? Because you were talking about how you're kind of in that goal setting um I guess area right now. You're in that phase of goal setting. What are some things that you already have that you're looking forward to working on this year, 2024? Or
Okay,
are you
so
looking more bigger picture?
basically I broke down my goals. So to 2024 to 2026. So these are goals that I want to achieve within this year and within the next few years. Um so one of my Okay, so I want to be a business woman. I want to be a business owner. And I want to provide wealth for me and my community because I strongly believe that when you make it, your family and people in your community should also make it too. So, one of my goals is to build better relationships with people, started with my family and then outward to my friends and then to the community, because I think that charity begins at home. So if you're not if you don't have a strong relationship in your home, I don't think you can have a strong relationship with friends or within the community. So my idea is to strengthen my relationships with people, but I'm gonna start within my own household, and then extend it outward. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
one of my goals that I want to achieve for
Yeah.
2024.
I
And
love that. That's so awesome. Like because I believe it too. Like you got to start home. I think it starts with yourself first. So
mhm,
making sure you have a great relationship with yourself, then building that with the closest people around you, and then you can
mhm.
just radiate outward. And before I let you dive into your next goal there, because I love that that's one of your goals for this year and forward because I have that as one of my goals as well. And I was curious on what's something that you're doing specifically that's going to help deepen or strengthen those relationships? Because I'll share with you with what I'm going to do this year, but I'd like to hear what you're doing first.
Okay, so with what you said that you got to start with yourself first, I do agree with what you're saying, but I think people naturally care for themselves. Like that's just come naturally because yeah, people naturally love themselves. Like nobody got to tell them to love themselves. That's just
Well,
come
not
natural.
everybody, because I
Well,
feel
not
like some
everybody, but
people, yeah, yeah.
most people. But to answer your question, with what I'm doing is, I remember one of my close friend. we had a conflict. I'm not going to air the conflict. And what she wanted me to do, she wanted me to like communicate with her more during the week, like text her, call her more during the week. And I'm like, why? Like, we're both busy. We're both working women. I have a business that I'm trying to get up and build. I'm trying to build this empire. Like, I don't got time for that. But then I realized that when it comes to relationship, it's all about give and take. Like, I got the gift, and I also want to receive. And when you're in a, like, whatever the relationship is, whether it's romantic or friendship or just family relationship, you got to listen to the other person and what they need, just as, and try to implement that, and provide them with what their need is, just as, if you communicate to someone that you have a relationship with, whether it's friendship, romantic, or just family relationship, you want them to listen to you, and you want them to, if it's possible, provide that thing that you need. So I realized that what she said was very valid. So this year, what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out more to the people within my life. Like, I don't like to call people. I'm a writer, so I rather text the person. So I'm going to like text, I hope everything is okay. I hope you enjoy your day. So I'm going to reach out to people more, because, as I said, what she said was very valid. And I want people to consider my feelings. So I'm going to consider her feeling. So yes, I'm going to reach out to people more. And yeah, that's one of the ways I'm going to build stronger relationship. And I'm going to assist people with their goal. Like, if I know that someone is doing something, and I have the resource, and I have the talent and gift, to assist them to fulfilling that goal, I'm going to volunteer my time. I'm going to volunteer my gifts and my talents to help them fulfill that goal. So I'm
Well,
going to be the type of friend that I want people to be to me.
yes,
So
I
yes.
I think that's perfect, and I think that's so
Hmm.
wonderful. And I love it because checking in on everybody and making sure that
Hmm.
you keep that strong communication with people that you want to build these relationships is so strong. And it's everybody gets so caught up in their everyday life, and it's sometimes you forget, sometimes you can feel really lonely. So I imagine that the people that you reach out to just to say, hey, I'm still here, I hope your day's going well, I imagine that that helps them out a lot. And the second part there, you just basically saying, you just be a good friend, show up for people when they need you. And I feel like that's another huge thing that people tend to overlook, just showing up. And that really makes a
Hmm.
big difference for people. I
Yeah,
love that.
I
Yeah.
think I think that we're all humans. We make mistakes, but as long as we grow, learn from those mistakes and grow, and treat people how you want to be treated. Because, as I said, I want my friends to show up for me, so I gotta show up for them. So I'm gonna give out what I want, because the Bible said that you reap what you sow. So I'm gonna give out what I want to reap. Period. So yeah.
Speaking of which, thank you so much for taking the time to hop on today. I appreciate you making the time out of your busy day to share a little bit of value with my audience.
You're welcome.
Um, yeah, and like building the relationships really is so powerful because I mean it's very cliche to say, but everyone's always talking about it, how your your network is your net worth. So the stronger relationships you have, the more relations you have, the more positive people, the better your life is, better your business becomes, better relationships are all around. So I love that there. So what are some other goals you got for the year?
Okay. So my other goal is I want to do a second edition of my book. I wrote two books. One of the book is called Us: A Story of Struggles, Heartbreak, and Victories. I wish I had a physical copy because I sold out.
Oh,
Um, yes. So
congratulations.
thank you. But I recently ordered some more copies from Amazon. So I'm gonna, once I get those copies, hopefully I sell out quicker.
Yeah,
So I want to do a second edition of that book. I want to make it better. Well, I want to do a second edition of both books. I want to make them better. I want to make them more valuable. Um, because I think that whatever you do, so I want to improve the value of the book. I want to make it more valuable. So I'm gonna do a second edition of those books. Yeah.
nice. That's got to be pretty. I mean, I haven't written any books, but I know we both have a bunch of mutual friends who have written a couple of books, but it's a lot of work. So, how are you planning on tackling both second editions this year?
Ooh, okay, so I broke it down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start in March because March is my birthday. So
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I'll
Happy early birthday.
thank you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on writing Us First, which is the bestseller. Shout out to Carl Michel because he helped me to write that book
Oh,
because I
yeah.
didn't know what I was doing. I was like, so he assists me by helping me to go through the process. Like this is step one. This is what you need to do. This is step two. This is step three. So shout out to Carl Michel. I knew him for what 5 years. He assists me and I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna start in March. I'm gonna start with the book Us, the bestseller book, and each night I'm gonna come home. I'm going well first I'm gonna reread my own book, and I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit it, self-edit, and I'm gonna say what poem or what um quote I want to take out, or what new poetry I have that I want to input in the book. And once I start there, the second step is that I'm gonna start to edit the manual graph. And each night when I come home from work, I'm gonna work on it for like 1 hour until the summer, which should be book should when the second edition should be finished. So I'm gonna
Nice.
reread it, work and edit it, and schedule 1 hour each day to rewrite it. Well, not rewrite it, but edit it.
Yeah. I love that. You sound very organized and
Mm-hmm.
you got a great plan of attack. And I love that you got the goals, you've got action steps, you know where you're going with this. And so let me ask you, how do you handle any kind of like twists or turns? What happens if something pops up and you can't get to it and it gets pushed back? How do you stay organized when things get chaotic?
That's a good question. So me, um, that's a very good question. I mean, I can't control, you know, I can't control anything. Well, most things I can't control. So if I can control something, I would try to resolve it. But say something pop up that is more important than the book. For example, a family issue that arises. Of course, that family issue is going to be more important than finishing the second edition of the book in the summer. So I would prioritize that family issue over the book. So it depends on how important the issue is that arises. If it's like
Hmm.
something minor or basic that can be resolved in 1 minute, I'm not gonna pay it any mind. I'm probably ask my mom to help me. Shout out to my mom because she does a lot. She
Yeah,
does a
mom.
lot. So shout out to my mom. So if it's something minor, I would probably ask my mom to help me. But if it's something that is urgent and that require a lot of my time and is more important than the book, I won't feel bad for delaying publishing the second edition because there are certain things that come first. So it all
Yeah,
depends. Family, I will take care of the family issue and leave and delay the publication. So it depends on how important it is.
that was such a
Yeah.
perfect answer too, because I feel like I'm constantly trying to remind others that when things do go, I don't want to say wrong, but when things don't go as planned, calm things down, control what you can control.
Mm,
And many times there are a lot of things that happen that we can't control, but you can always control how you react and how
mm,
your emotions are. And I love that you said if it's family, family comes first. You got your priorities in
mm,
line and you know exactly what takes precedent over what.
mm.
And that was perfect there. And you mentioned your mom, and I wanted to ask you, uh, I'm guessing your mom is a great role model or a mentor or somebody that you look up to, but do you have any other mentors, teachers other than Carl as well that you kind of look up to?
No, no. The funny thing is, like, I didn't have any role models growing up. I always felt like alone. I don't know if that's the right word. I just felt like there wasn't any people that I could count on growing up, except, my parents. And, parents make mistake, and, you have, issue with your parents. They make mistake, but I don't feel like outside of that, I don't feel like I had anyone who was really there,
Mhm.
so role models, no, I don't know what that is. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like your parents did a pretty good job because you're
Yeah.
very driven. It sounds like you've got things, you got your goals, you've got your vision, you've got action items. So you're well put together. I know myself growing up, I reflected a lot of athletes. I wanted to make sure that my body was like looking the best, it was moving the best, performing the best for a lot of different sports. So professional athletes kind of became like a role model type thing. And then as I've kind of progressed through my career and kind of grown a little bit, my personal role models and mentors became certain coaches that I would start to hire, like business coaches and speaking coaches, and just of the sort like that. So I know I'm always looking to kind of make sure that I continue to level myself up and I'm always looking for people who have what I want to have. That's what I try to reflect off of what they're doing, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. And the thing with goal is you always have to have an action plan, because like you can't have a goal and don't have an action plan. Like, what are the steps that you're gonna take to make this goal um come to pass? What are the steps that you're going to take to achieve this goal? So you cannot have a goal without an action plan and without an end date, because like that's unrealistic. You got to put some actions toward it. Like me, when I said that I want to build better relationship and nurture relationship, my action plan is, hey, I'm gonna assist people with their goal. Like, hey, do you need me to assist you with this? I have the skill, I have the resources. That's one of my action plan. My next action plan, I'm going to reach out to people like twice a month just to check in on them. Hey, are you doing? I hope you're well. So you got to have action plan if you're going to achieve your goal. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect right there because without a without actions, uh, without the action plan, I feel like the dream is or the goal is just a dream. It's not very tangible. But once
Yeah.
you put the action steps out and you have it, you can see the path, and then all of a sudden your goals become achievable. And
Mm-hmm.
that's right. But then you have to put the work in, just like you said, like actually reaching out and making sure that you touch base with people, and you got to stay consistent with it too, right? You
Yes.
can't just do it
Consistency.
every once in a while. You got to be day in and day out.
Yeah, consistency. So yeah, very very much consistency. Make a to-do list, post it on somewhere that you can see. Like, for example, at work, most of the time I write a to-do list and put it on my computer or on the phone, so when I go to work I know what I gotta do, so I don't gotta be sitting there be like, what should I do today? Like, I already plan the day before what I'm gonna do. Even with my personal business, I planned the weekend, what I want to do within that week. And me, I'm, as you said, I'm very driven. Like, I want at the end of the day, I check off the things that I was able to complete that day. So when that to-do list keep me focused, it keep me grounded. It said these are the things that I need to do each day in order to achieve this goal or this mission. So yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I love that checking off the to do list. It feels good, and you get that
it
sense of
does.
accomplishment. And it's no mystery that you have such a great skill set for getting organized and planning ahead and setting those goals and action plans. But I want to ask you, flip side of that, how often are you doing reflection? How often do you look back and check in, and do you do a lot of journaling yourself, or do you just do that with clients?
Okay, so one thing my father taught me when I was younger, but I didn't listen to him because when we're younger, we think we know everything.
Oh yeah.
My father always said, you need to reflect. I'm like, sit down, reflect. What did you do? What did you do wrong? How can you, what lesson did you learn from this mistake? How can you do better next time? My father taught me that, but I didn't listen. Recently, I am in therapy, and um and and because I have to keep a journal for therapy, I am I don't want to use that word, because I have to keep a journal for therapy. That kind of made me reflect. So I'm supposed to write a journal every week. So because I have to write in that journal every week I get to reflect on um what went wrong, what part did I play in that incident, how could I angle it better. So because of that therapy, I reflect regularly compared to when I was younger, which I didn't used to reflect. I just used to go through life like la 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 la, like even when things was like falling apart. That's how I went through life when I was younger. But now I'm older, and I'm on this healing journey. I'm on this journey to evolve and to become better. I find myself reflecting more and reaching out to people, professionals who can assist me in my healing journey and becoming a better person.
Oh
So
yeah.
I journal regularly.
I love that, and that kind of goes hand in hand with my action steps for this year. I'm building deeper relationships because I got into practicing gratitude a couple of years ago, and I think I'm at like 400 days in a row or something writing in my gratitude journal.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I would try to do three things that I'm grateful for, and just it could be anything. It could be just because I'm breathing, because I have a cell phone, because I my best friends, or whatever it might be. Just write those down. And I was doing that for so long, and that's good because it keeps me in a positive state, and it reminds me of counting my blessings of everything that I have. And because this year I really wanted to push and deepen a lot of relationships with people, I'm trying to every single day send out a gratitude text to somebody that I haven't really talked to in a while. And that gives me an opportunity to continue the reflection on myself, on the great things that I have, but then
Mm-hmm.
also show appreciation for somebody else, for something great that they've done and contributed to in my life. It gives me a chance to just write out a quick little text message, kind of go into it, and then that helps brighten their day, or at least I like to think it helps brighten their day a little bit. But then also it opens the conversation for, hey, how have you been? What's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while, and I feel like that's a good way of sharing that reflection practice and sharing positivity all around.
Mm-hmm. And no, I do imagine that probably like elevate their mood because they got a random text, so that probably be like, oh, and it's a gratitude text. You're not asking for anything, so they
Yeah.
might be like, wow, he texts me out of random. He's not asking for anything. He's just saying thank you. And people like to be appreciated. I remember one of my supervisor. He usually does something for us, and so I would always say, oh, thank you for doing X, Y, and Z. And even on days when I know that he don't want to do it, because I always show him that gratitude, he does it because people like to be appreciated. So that I think that brighten their day. Everyone likes to be appreciated.
Oh yeah.
And
Everyone loves a little attention,
yeah.
and I feel like we don't get enough of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a great way.
Oh, and back to your question. The first question you asked me was for resources for
Mhm.
people with mental illness. Well, not our people who are struggling whether with suicidal thought or some mental crisis, the national center or resource is called SAM HSA. So it's S as in Sam, A as in Apple, M as in Mother, H as in House, S as in Sam, A. National Hotline. So they can call. It's open 24/7. They can call and speak to a professional, and that professional will guide them through that crisis.
Mhm.
And go ahead.
So what kind of defines as a crisis? Does it have to be someone who's in a suicidal situation, or like could it be something as like a rough relationship kind of breakup kind of thing, or something going terrible with business? What kind of constitutes it as a crisis?
Okay, so I recently learned this in therapy that not you shouldn't, because like, how not to say this. Okay, so I recently learned this is in therapy. You shouldn't minimize what you're going, you know. So but a crisis could be anything. Suicidal. If you're feeling suicidal, go to the emergency room. Use the suicidal hotline. That's why it was created. The suicidal hotline was created to help people. If you're going through a bad day, and you need someone to speak to, you feel like you don't have anyone to speak to, call these hotline, call New York, call NYC Wells, call Sam HSA, call these people. They're there to assist you. So a crisis is anything that makes you feel overwhelmed. A
Mhm.
crisis is anything that makes you feel broken or like you don't want to go on anymore. So I can't really define what a crisis is for everyone, because everyone problem is important. Like, it might not be like, I might have the same problem as you, and I'd be like, oh, whatever. But to you, that problem is breaking you. That problem is, it makes you feel like you can't go on. So it's not up to me to say that's not a problem. It's a problem for you. So if you feel like you're being broken, if you feel like you don't want to go on anymore, call these hotline, use these resources.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true because you never really know
Mm-hmm.
what someone's going through and how it's affecting them in that given
Yeah.
situation or day. So we all interpret and see things differently. So
Yeah.
definitely some very powerful things.
Yeah.
So
You
I want
cannot
to
you cannot minimize other people problem. You just can't do that, because they might be falling apart. So yeah.
very true, very true.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to be courteous of your time. What do you got going on in the business world right now for yourself? You got where can people kind of contact you or find out more information? You got
Okay, so I do have a website called toyasimone.com. That's T as in talent, O as in octopus, Y as in yo-yo, A as in apple, S as in Sam, I as in igloo, M as in mother, O as in octopus, N as in Nancy, E as in elephant.com. So you can check out my website. I do have some beautiful dresses for women. So go check it out, go shop. Because what I do realize is that fashion does play a lot in your mental state, because whenever you put on a nice outfit or a nice dress, it always elevate your mood. You always feel better. Like, even if you're kind of down, when you put on something that look nice and you look in the mirror, you be like, dang, I look good. So fashion tends to elevate your mood. So yeah, go and check out my website, and you can follow me on Instagram at Toya Simone 77.
Toya Simone 77 on
Yes.
Instagram. And yeah, I love that so much too because really big believer in looking good. Once you look good, you feel good, and when you feel
Mm-hmm.
good, you can do great things. So
Yeah.
that's really some great stuff. So before I let you go though, boiling it all down, You've got your business, you got your work that you're doing in the mental health world and everything. So you're juggling the side hustle and growing your empire.
Yes.
Coming to you as somebody, if I were to come to you as a new entrepreneur starting out in the side hustle, what would be your number one piece of advice in order for me to survive the side hustle?
I would say don't give up. I think I learned that lesson in 2023, not to give up. I know it's easier said than done, but that's one of the lessons that I learned. Don't give up. It's, it ain't gonna be easy. It wasn't easy for anyone, but I think with consistency and determination and knowledge, you can achieve anything. So don't give up. Self-educate. Don't wait on your boss to teach you anything. Read, 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 read. Like read books. Um, find friends whose vision aligns with your vision and who can encourage you and push you through when you're having discouragement. So don't give up. That's my number one advice. Don't give up. Just
Wow.
keep going. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you taking the time coming on today. You gave so much value, plenty of resources. You just listed off like 10 different things that you can do to just keep getting better and growing. And I appreciate you and I appreciate our friendship. And I'd love to have you back on the show in the future and to kind of check in and see what you're up to then. But for now, it's been a pleasure. We'll talk to
Uh,
you soon.
yeah. Bye, Rob.